Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today's virtual session. The topic for today's session is delivering everything as a service, which will be presented by Norman. During the session, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A tab on your left, and they'll be answered at the end of the session. Norman, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. This session we are being conducting for many of our partners now and very frequently because this topic is a very hot topic as per the current situations are concerned and what would be the way through like post pandemic and what is the strategy of HP, how we're going to work on this and what are the challenging of a new era of the now new demanding world and all. This particular session might be able to give you some of the answers. Hi, my name is Noman, and I worked as a pre-sales consultant for Redington Gulf. And this is my email address, so you can also get in touch with me if you have any sort of queries or somehow. Okay, talking about the topic over here, HP is basically business strategy believes that in every business there are like three important factors, three important pillars. One is the people. First of all, the strong organization is been meant by the people. So we believe that enabling people is very much important. Secondly, the technology that drives the business. So without technology, like those who are not adopting the latest technologies are being left behind. And the third and the most important thing is the economics, delivering better economics to provide a better competitive advantage from your competition. So these are the three main pillars of any of the business. Now, talking about technology, talking about like upcoming the challenges of the business and how the IT fits into that and what are the upcoming challenges when it comes to the IT department, IT administration, or how the IT is supporting to the business goals, to the business achievements. The common examples are like maybe like the any of the business organization. People might be thinking of about the newer technologies, about all those shiny tools, or they must be thinking about the faster delivery. Like many of the organizations are been adopting the new IT era. For example, like nowadays, if we are seeing very commonly that people want to offer their services remotely, want to offer their services online, even though in any of the if we take an example of the UAE market itself or the Gulf market itself, like they are like each and every organization is offering the services online. Either it's an education sector, either it's a retail sector, or either it's like any other sector, like even the financial sector is there. We have seen banks offering the uh, different applications, offering different online transactions. We have seen schools offering online courses. We have seen different other institutes offering online courses, and what not, which of the organizations, for example, like Carrefour, if you take an example of normal retail store, we have an online application for Carrefour's, and we have an online application for different sort of malls itself. So the point is that every organization is thinking to adopt new technologies, because if they don't adopt new technology, your competitive advantage would be lost. So everybody would be is fighting to have a competitive approach, and everybody wants to be on the top of their business. So how we going to do that? So the challenges are like what new technologies are coming up into the market and how we can adopt that. What would be the faster service delivery? We want our customer experiences to be seamless. We want uh, something called like accelerated gap development. That means that what is our gap in adopting the technology, how to improve the uptime and performance. And for all those things, for example, like what would be at the edge, what would be the new sources of the data, for example, like IoT, like if you are implementing some sort of security, if you are implementing some sort of like access points, for example. So all of the things, like how IoT going to manage, and what would be your strategy in having the migration done towards the cloud. So this is the very hot topic. Everybody nowadays is speaking about the cloud, how we can what would be the strategy in migration towards the cloud, because see, now cloud has been mature and it's been here for a quite a long time now. Now people are thinking cloud as the final destination, or might be possible that it's not exactly the final destination. So what would be the ideal mix? For example, like if I am a part of an enterprise organization, and moving towards a cloud, it's a journey. That means that if I'm thinking about the public cloud, then what are my challenges in moving my applications towards the public cloud? I have to learn new skills. I have to, be updated. Plus, there are like multiple cloud offerings. I also want to avoid like a vendor lockdown. I don't want to, run all of my applications in AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. So how I gonna manage those multi clouds? So this is the complete whole topic when we discuss on the cloud migration. Uh, in this particular scenario, what are the new threats and attacks? Like if we talk about technology, if we talk about IoT, more and more technology coming up, bringing the security into the stake. So how the IT team is going to manage, plus how the IT team is going to keep up to the mark. Okay, so these are the challenges of the new era. Now if we summarize it, okay, what we hear from the customers, that we want something called business agility. That means that I need to move a lot faster of IT and could only be ahead of the business initiative for once. Business agility we would be discussing in a bit detail when we go throughout the presentation. Then we want, apart from business agility, we also want something which is known as simpler IT. I have the infrastructure with me, and I want to manage that infrastructure on my tips. For example, the most attractive things for an IT admin is that he is able to manage the complete infrastructure from a single pane of glass, not even from the single pane of glass, but from his mobile phone. This is the most ideal situation of the simpler IT might be. Then not even the management, but also I am being a valuable contributor to the organization. And what I'm doing is that I am creating a value by reducing the cost, the IT cost. Okay, so how I'm going to do that? Okay, plus I want a proper control. When we talk about the, we have already talked about the some of the flavor of the cloud. When just imagine if ABC organization or any enterprise organization has a strategy to migrate over towards the cloud, and they have some applications running on Azure, some applications running on AWS, some applications running on Google, some applications running on premises. So how difficult it is to manage all the complete infrastructure, how difficult it is to manage for the IT team to keep a track of what application is running where, and what application can give more cost benefits in running on a particular cloud. So this is known as a proper control. So the slide says that for a proper control, I am worried about the ability to control performance, security, compliance and our data. That means that few of the applications due to compliance I have to run on premises. Few of the application for the performance I need to run on public cloud. For few of the applications I'm bothered about security, like that. So these are the summarization, that I want a business agility, I want simpler IT, I want to lower my IT cost, and I want a proper control of my of complete infrastructure. Now, to meet these needs, get everything as a service. This is what HP says. This is what the message of Antonio Neri was, that everything as a service is the model which HP wants to emphasize. And see, this model is not new. This model is not something which is like coming up out of the box just now. We are working on the enterprise, like everything as a service since like 10 years now. Okay. And now it's been mature, and now it's been more oftenly spreaded on the SMB market, and now we have opened the gates for tier 2 partners and the distributors. So 61% of the companies are accelerating innovation with everything as a service. The reason why, that see, everything is when we talk about the public cloud, so it's not possible to move everything on the public cloud. Okay, so this is why, and the private cloud is difficult to manage. The people are adopting some mediocre way, which is known as hybrid cloud. Means that people are keeping some of their applications on the public cloud, people are keeping some of the applications on premises. But the problem is, how are we going to know that what applications would suits the best? Means, what applications should I would be running on public cloud, and what application should I would be running on premises? So this is the answer, this is the question which we need to ask ourselves, and this is the answer which we need to find out. So what is this service going on, or what is everything as a service? Everything as a service is something which would give you a flavor of a private cloud, but it would be on premises. Means it would be giving you a flavor of a public cloud as well. Sorry, it's not private cloud, it's public cloud. Why? Because it would give you an experience of pay as per grow, like whatever you are using, whatever you are consuming, you have to pay only for that. Plus it would give you an advantage scale as you need, like elasticity would be there. Like for example, like as your demand grows in the season, so you would be consuming more resources, and as the demand is reduced, so you would be using less resources. So scale as you need. Increase business agility means like it would be not be something like an opex model or fixed model, that you have to pay only fixed amount of invoice every month. It's elastic model. So that's why we call that business agility. Choice and flexibility means that, for example, like if I talk about public cloud, okay, public cloud would give you like monthly installments, or monthly invoicing and pay as you go model. Okay, but you don't know all these instances. For example, if I talk about AWS, you don't know the EC2 instances, S3. You have to, like, first of all have some trainings out of it. Then you have to build your infrastructure again and again. Okay, so this would give you a choice and flexibility. Means that the this particular infrastructure is there in my data center, and it's on present on premises, but I am paying as I'm using it. I'm not paying for complete thing. Plus I have the flexibility to choose my infrastructure. If I want to go with 3 par, if I want to go with DL380 servers, if I want to go with DL360 servers, if I want to use 6 servers, 10 servers, so I know like what actually my infrastructure is on, and what applications are running on this particular infrastructure. Simplify operations. We already know how to manage our infrastructure. Okay, plus on top of that, HP also emphasizes, or HP also helps to simplify the operations. Plus if in this particular as a service model, we would be allowing some of the portals that would be like a metering system, as well as the something called GreenLake Central, which I'll be discussing later in these slides. Okay, this would simplify the operations, and it would give you a very good and granular picture of what your resources are actually used, and how we're going to reduce the cost, and how we're going to have some incredible reporting on top of that. Then speed time to market. That means that if your operations are shared, and you don't need to worry about the infrastructure anymore, you don't need to worry about the firmware upgrades anymore, you don't need to worry about the troubleshooting anymore, and the IT manager's job is not anymore just to sit and see that if there is a problem occurring, and the infrastructure is up and running. Then you can utilize those resources to have some valuable contributions towards the market. So now the IT is not just being a cost center, it is like being a revenue driver then. Consumption based IT can offers a better approach when you talk about the fast value, fuel innovation, or when we talk about cloud economics and proper control. These are the four major pain points where we discuss in the beginning of the presentation. Okay, it gives you faster value by accelerating app and service deployment. You don't need to worry about tender and procurement processes, and you don't need to worry about the app for example, like I'll be simple and I'll give you an example of some, for example, like an ambulance company. It's a government company, ambulance company, okay, have to launch an application. Okay, to in order to launch that application, they need some sort of storage to run those application, and maybe like some sort of web servers to host that application. Okay, now those resources, an IT manager knows that, see, I need those sort of resources to run those applications. Okay, so remember if it's a government entity, the procurement cycle and the tender and the technical evaluation and financial evaluation and all. Okay, so this is the something which is they need to think that whether if I want to increase the amount of applications, if they are going with some new applications, so what would be the time analysis. Okay, so why we are saying that faster value, because if we are already consuming it as a service, then if we want to increase the applications, okay, so we already have the resources available in the data center. If you are there, if you are the member of everything as a service, then you don't need to worry about adding an additional infrastructure and going through all those procurements once again. So this is why we are saying that accelerate app and service deployment, fuel innovation, free up your people and to do their best work. This is something which we discussed in the previous slide as well, that the IT team is no more worried about having the troubleshooting done, having the infrastructure up and running, and no more the IT manager's job is to just be a security guard and just check whether the server is up and running at the middle of the night. So they can create more value to the company by having something which they are best in doing. Cloud economics, no upfront capital, no over provisioning, variable cost. That means that we can save something which is called as over provisioning cost. Let's take an example of the same the application that ambulance company is being launching the application, and for that they need 20 dB of storage, but the 20 dB of storage would be utilized in the time span of 3 years. Okay, so what we are saying, that why we are buying this 20 dB of storage at day one. Okay, we know that you are launching a new application and you need 20 dB of storage capacity, but the 20 dB of storage capacity would be consumed in the time span of 3 years. Okay, so why not buy 10 TB now, okay, and gradually increase as per the requirement, as per the consumption, as per the resources which are required, which are really required. Okay, so this is, in this particular manner, you are saving some over provisioning. Instead of buying 20 dB, and I know that on day one I might require only 5 TB and 15 TB sitting idle in my data center for the last 1 year. Okay, so we are trying to save the over provisioning, and we are also trying to increase the net present value like that. Proper control, manage performance, latency, and cost. You would be having a proper control, single pane of glass, in which you can see very granular that you can how you can manage your performance. That means that uh, performance on the basis of the virtual machines, maybe performance on the basis of the physical, performance on the basis of the resources which are available, performance on the basis of the application as well. So you must be knowing that, see, this particular application is performing better in on premises, this particular application is performing better in the cloud, or what is my latency, what is my risk, and what is my cost. So in this particular manner, you can also save some cost, and I'll tell you how you're going to save that. Monetizing existing value to fund innovation. Exact value from existing legacy systems to fund for the new investment and an accelerated transaction with the support of the production of from the data security and environmental regulatory risk. This slide says that HP also have something called like a co-located areas, where like people who are in the public cloud also knows that if you talk about the AWS, it offers direct connect, and if we talk about Azure, it offers express route. So HP has these Equinix and co-location areas where you can set up a DR. So it would be like co-funded, and it would be like everything. It would be also consumed everything as a service. Like if you want to consume, like if you don't know that I want to establish a DR, but where I have to start, what would be my co-location area? So we can definitely help you out in setting up a DR, and everything would be as a service. So this is the solution which we were talking about. This is the solution name is HPE GreenLake. Okay, HPE GreenLake delivers everything as a service, and there are like three important pillars or three important features which we can say: your application, your cloud, your way. That means that it's your application. For example, what applications you want to run, where you want to run. Okay, your cloud means that you are dictating your terms on premises in proper control, and your way means that you know the infrastructure, you know what infrastructure you want. If you want to run your applications on DL380s, DL360s, what storage you want, uh, like so everything would be very transparent, so you know what is your infrastructure. And it says that it's a self-service, pay what you want to use and managed by you. So these are the workload breakdowns which HPE GreenLake actually provides. We have I'll also give you a short demonstration on that. We have different sort of workloads. For example, like if you talk about storage, compute, virtualization, private cloud, backup, HPC, SAP HANA, composable infrastructure, and all. So, and one more important thing is that it is a metering system, so it can be metered by GBs, by core, by compute, or by software, memory, TBs, backed up container units, or network port, and more. So it's a metering system. Okay, so whatever, for example, like if I talk about storage. Okay, so storage would be there on site, on premises, in your data center, and you would be consuming, for example, like 500 GBs, 800 GBs, or 1000 GBs. So whatever GBs which you are consuming, you are only paying per GB. Similarly, if I talk about virtualization, so how many VMs are you going to consume? How many compute you want to consume? So based on that, the metering is been allocated. So how actually this works? I'll give you an example of this business application. For example, like I'll just continue with the same example which I was discussing, that ambulance company want to launch an application. Okay, so now the business application, we have something called forecasted capacity and a local buffer. Okay, forecasted capacity is something which we know that on day one I might be consuming, for example, like we were consuming like 5 TB for that application. Okay, so my forecasted capacity would be 5 TB. Okay, on top of that, I would be keeping somewhere around like 10 to 15% buffer. This buffer is not been paid by the customer. It has been only paid when whatever resources which you consume, this would be present on site in your data center, readily available for you. Okay, for example, if the demand increases, then there would be a resource on site available. You don't need to wait for 3 to 4 weeks anymore, and the local buffer would be the part of the forecasted capacity. It is like more like an elastic approach. Okay, when the demand decreases, again the extra capacity which you are not using would be the part of buffer again. Okay, we have something called a minimum commit level or minimum reserved capacity. Okay, so for example, like my minimum reserved capacity in this example is 5 TB. I have readily available 10 TB on my in my data center, and if the demand increases, I used some sort of 7 TB, and then if the demand decreased again, my minimum commit level or my minimum reserve capacity would be 5 TB. So I was about to use 5 TB once again, like that. But the beauty of this particular model is that choose the technology what you want. Okay, what hardware or what platform do you want, align services with your business needs, and pay only for what you consume, and always have the capacity ahead of demand. So these are the four important points. Again, we would emphasize. Now we are looking for answers. Point number one was business agility. How are we going to achieve that? We're going to achieve that by capacity ahead of demand. We are providing you something available in your data center as a resource. Available means that you can use it anytime you want, and only pay for if you consume that. Quick upgrades and add-ons are also available. How we are simplifying the IT? We are offloading heavy lifting and taking routes and tasks from your stuff. We have specialized resources available, like for example, like leverage the HP expertise and the ecosystem, because these guys are experts in their complete their compute and their storages and complete infrastructure. So you can all the time use the HP expertise. Lowering the IT cost. How I'm lowering the IT cost? By, first of all, the most important thing is that I am not over provisioning anymore. I'm not buying 20 TB when I require 5 TB on a day one. I would gradually take it to 20 TB whenever I need it. So I would be my utilization is 100%. Okay, and I'm reducing the over provisioning. And the beauty of this model, there is no upfront cost, no upfront capital. Only pay those services we're using. And and the most important thing is that you have a greater control, because you are choosing your own technology. Either you want to go with the 3 power synergy DL380 servers, and you have a greater control, and you have a control your risk deploying, because there are like different security parameters when you go towards the public cloud. If I talk about the express route or direct connect, these lines are not encrypted, so you have to like have to buy some sort of third party solutions to encrypt and to pay more. For example, like if you have bought some direct connect line of 10 gig, but if you encrypt that, because you have to encrypt that because of the compliance, so when you encrypt that, you will be only getting 1.25 gig of throughput. Okay, so the point is that you have all your infrastructure readily available, and the beauty is it is available on premises, and you are paying as you are using it. That means that you have all the flavor of a cloud sitting on your data center. So this is the graphical representation of what we have discussed up till now. See, this is the normal utilization of resources of any company. And in our example, we have taken the example of that ABC ambulance company. Okay, so that, for example, like they have this graph of utilization. Be aware that the usage graph or the utilization graph has never been a linear. It is always like a sinusoidal, that there might be a time where your resources, you might need more resources, then there might be a time where you need less resources. So it's a kind of a sinusoidal wave. Now this is the traditional buying. So because it's a variable thing. Okay, so how the traditionally the buying pattern is that we normally tend to over provisioning. See the green line and the purple line, there is a huge difference, and we have over provision over here. And plus, the again, one more challenge in this approach is that the time comes where your green line crosses your purple line. That means that you have consumed all your resources, and now you are in a hurry because your demand is more, and now you are in a hurry for a procurement. Okay, then again we over provision. What is the solution? What we say is that we have to have some sort of local buffer. So if your demand increases, so see the blue line, if your demand increases, you are still ahead and you have still resources available in your data center that can be utilized. Okay, so in this particular case, now we are having some sort of savings. How are we going to save this? Because we are saving for something called over provisioning. See, so you are only utilizing which is in the green. Okay, and there is a huge difference between the green and the purple line. That means that you are only paying for the green line, and the difference between the purple and the green line is your saving. Plus you are also have are ahead of the demand, as I mentioned earlier. So this is the minimum commitment level or reserved capacity. For example, like in our example, it was 5 TB. So by doing so, this is the IDC research, okay, made in like May 2018. It says that 30% of the capex, and by the way, these numbers are already been increased. Okay, so now we are standing on 2020, and after post pandemic, it would be morely it would be greatly increased. So we are talking about somewhere around like 30% of the capex savings due to the estimated need of the over provisioning. Shortened times to deploy global IT projects, 65%, 44% of the less time spent in keeping the lights on. Like you're not anymore the IT manager is a security guard. 40% increased IT team productivity by reducing the support load from the IT. That they need to like having like support calls in the night, and also so this increase the productivity of the IT team. Okay, so again our four pillars, or our four pain points: faster value, accelerate app and service deployment, simplified IT, cloud economics, and proper control. This is the slide which I want to discuss separately. This is how we going to uh, if I go one slide previously, the last point, which is the proper control. Okay, so this particular slide also enhances that how we're going to have this proper control. Let us drill down into four more points, and how we're going to do that. We have the portal called the consumption analytics portal, and now it's been like uh, announced as a GreenLake Central. It gives you visibility, okay, of your resources, where it has been utilized, and how it's been utilized, and your what application is running, and what application is actually requiring or consuming what resources of yours. Okay, so in this way you will have a visibility, and you have a greater control, which helps to manage the cost, that what actually resources I am utilizing, and how I can set in budgets, I can set in alerts, and how I can customize it. You can also do capacity planning, because you know that what now you have a pattern in front of you, that see this application goes throughout the year and consumes this much of resources. Okay, now we have a full capacity planning in our hands, that ensures that always have a capacity you need for your workload. And then if you have the capacity planning in your head, if you have a control, then we can perform some sort of optimization, delivers insight to optimize the usage and cost, and based on the rules based threshold. And this is the way where the IT team can create a value for the organization. You are reducing your cost, you have your proper capacity planning, you have the visibility, and now you can also optimize it. So this slide says that, see, we have already 10 years of experience, we are scaled globally, we have 90% of the customer satisfaction rate, and by 2022 we have a goal to go everything as a service, and we have started, and we are going very aggressively for as a service approach. We have a strong benchmark of customers throughout worldwide. And if I talk about UAE, we have a very good customer base as well over here as well. The bigger names are like Transguard and other companies have already been adopting the everything as a service model, and they are quite much happy, and so they have made a wise decision. So the workload based solution which I talked about, again, this is the reminder slide that what we talked about. We have different sort of workloads available: storage, compute, virtualization, private cloud, HPC. So now these slides would be giving you every slide would be giving you a workload level granularization, that what actually is it is. Okay, for example, if I talk about the business needs of pay per use, if we talk about like storages, so we can offer 3PAR, Nimble, Store Once, Primera. We can offer consumption based billings, and it is like performance tuned, and it can be operated by you or by HP expertise can also be leveraged and all. When we talk about capacity of compute, we have Synergy, DL380 servers, and OneView is the management engine. All the things are available for you for to avail it as a consumption based model. And then we have, if we talk about virtualization, we can provide virtualization on SimpliVT or Synergy, or with the 3PAR storage, with the including the VMware software, or everything is available with the consumption based billing. Right size configurations are also available. We have HPC in which we have Apollo clusters available, same everything as a service. We have hybrid cloud options available, which for example, like we have Proline for Azure Stack, and available as a consumption based billing. And if you want to have a single vendor support, if you want to have the expertise of HP or operated by you, all the things are available as a service, means that consumption based billing is available. We can also have we can also go for a composable infrastructure, where you want a blade systems working as a fluid pool of resources. So it is also available as a service model, and consumption based approach is available, and we can provide you software defined blade chassis known as HPE Synergy. And also, if you talk about databases, we have like certified SAP SQL, and like all other approaches for the databases, especially based on the DL380 servers. So SAP I already talked about. And if you talk about the backup, so we have a solution of 3PAR in combination of Store Once, which is the dedicated backup appliance with a proprietary protocol of Catalyst that would provide you more extensive deduplication and compression ratios. So all those services are available as a service model, and consumption based billing is available operationally, optionally operated by you or the HP expertise. Both can be done. So if we summarize this slide again, we have already talked about that: get the most of the hybrid cloud, because now hybrid cloud is ultimate. People are like going up, like adopting the hybrid cloud more, because they know that entire public cloud is not a solution, entire private cloud is not a solution, but there is a solution somewhere around, like mediocre way. Like they have to go with the blue, they have to avail both of the flavors. They want to keep something on premises, something public cloud, and this is the most simple way to do that. We can have faster value, we can have simplified IT, we can have cloud economics, we can have proper control. Thank you. But actually, before like wrapping up my presentation, I would like to just give you very small demonstration of how actually it looks.
Norman, there are questions also on the question and answer.
Okay, so let me just first answer the question, and then I'll start a small demo if the time allows me. Okay, so for the start, and for the quick delivery of the code, HP has came up with something called GreenLake quick coding tool. Okay, I hope everybody can view my screen. So this is the workload based approach which we were talking about. we have storage as a service, database as a service, on-premises, hybrid cloud, as per Microsoft Azure, which we talked about, compute as a service. Okay, so let's take an example of compute as a service, for example. Okay, so it gives me options like uh, productivity applications or business applications. Doesn't matter. Like for example, like if I selected the productivity applications. Okay, so then it would give me a page. Okay, I think it's been logged out. Let me just sign in again because I have signed in before the presentation, so it's been more than an hour now. Okay. All right. So here, because actually I'm a distributor over here, so I have to select a reseller. And if there are partners of HPE, so they have to select a distributor over here, or they might not be selecting. Okay. For example, like I select any of the partner ABC Solutions. Okay. Here, meanwhile I have selected the workload which is servers. Okay, so here it would guide me that I can select minimum 10 servers to maximum 130 servers. For example, let's keep the example simple, and we'll select the minimum, which is 10 servers. Okay, so it would give you a plan that I have a plan for DL380, which is the Intel based servers, and I have a plan for DL385, which is the plan for AMD based processor. Again, this is just already pre-configured bundles. We can also go on a customizable approach depending on the requirement of a customer. This is just to give a high level idea that what actually the code looks like. Okay, so it would give you top recommendation based on the technical specs as well as the requirement. If I want to go for a cost optimized option, okay, so I can also select the cost optimized option. Here we can also see that the specs of the server is itself changing. Okay, so we have something called DL385 with AMD processors and 256 GB of memory and two 800 GB of SSDs for caching, 12 1.2 TB of drive for data, and 10 gig connectivity with the rack and everything. All these 10 servers which we have selected, we are paying for this particular amount per month. Okay, $10,500 per month. Okay, if I select this plan, okay, so this would give me this. For here I can select my profit margins and all. If I go, if I can go for lower, for example, like 2% or somehow. See, here the field of 4 years is being freezed because we have different options go with 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Okay, but in this particular tool, 4 years is being a sweet spot, and it would be giving you major more ROI. That's why they have freeze the 4 years plan. Okay, variable usage I want to go with, for example, like I want to keep it uh, let's keep it by default only. Variable usage means that we remember that slide of the business applications where we have a buffer, and where we have the variable capacity. So variable capacity here, it says that they keep by default as 20%. We can also play around, we can have more 30%, and just remember that if you are increasing this, so your cost is also be decreasing or increasing based on that. Okay, so what variable usage which is there, so it depends on that particular thing. Okay, so normally people go with the somewhere around like 40%. So your monthly invoicing would be based on this particular figure, and this is again a tentative figure based on the minimum baseline which we are committing. For example, if I click on generate code, okay, so it would give me again it would give me a summary over here, and it would give me some good options to export my code if I want to export in Word, if I want to export in PDF, PPT. Okay, and here these are the some of the value drivers which we need to ask the customer itself, whether what is your current utilization. If they say my current utilization is only like somewhere around like 50%, or my current utilization is somewhere around like 70%. Okay, so we can definitely ask these questions. So these questions would help you to in order to calculate your buffer and your future forecasting capacity. What is your time to market? Maybe like people might not be knowing this answer, but if they don't know, they just you can keep it by default. How often you buy? Normally people might buy like quarterly, so we can also say like quarterly. Okay. What is the monetization impact? So maybe some people might be saying high, maybe some people might be saying that it is like minimum. Okay, I have one SFDC already been ready. It is used for some testing purposes, so I'll just use that here. Normally what we do is that we create an opportunity into the quoting tool, or into the our partner portal access. Okay, so when I uploaded the opportunity, it would automatically fetch the details. That this is for example, this is the test case. This is why it is showing that this is a test company for all test cases. You can have some opportunity name, like for example test, vertical industry, like we have taken an example of the healthcare. We can just type in on healthcare, customer short name ABC ambulance. Okay, we can export it like that. So in a while it would give me a Word file, because I have exported into the Word format. Okay, here I can just download it, and I just open it, and I'm just opening for viewing. So it would give me a complete proposal. You don't need to worry about see, these are my credentials, my details, my opportunity details. And it would give you a very nice summary first of all. And this is for the ABC ambulance, and these are the inputs, and these are the future forecasting and all everything. It would give me a very nice statistics, where and how I'm going to save this, where I'm saving it, what is my saving. And this again, it would give me like a capacity monitoring. So this tool is included, so you can monitor your complete statistics and everything. And see, the gentleman who have asked regarding the support, so we have a complete proactive support already been covered. And this is the landscape which they are saying that, see, these are the support profile which is already been covered. Unit of measure, it says that the unit of measure is the price or unit per month of the billing tier. And unit of measure is very much important, because it depends on what resources which you are using. Here we have, for example, like reserved capacity, we have 6. We have variable zone, we have 4. Remember again that slide of business application, where there is a balance between the buffer capacity and the reserve capacity. Sorry, variable capacity. Okay, so variable zone and buffer zone, and the reserve resources are again 6. So we have, so total number of servers which would be installed on your data center would be 11. Configuration I have already shown to you. On top of that, we are only paying for the reserved resources, and that is also again on the monthly basis. And we already have something called a variable zone and buffer zone, where which would be utilized whenever you want to utilize that particular resource. We also have something called a band system, which depends on which also give you some additional savings, where when your usage would be increased. For example, like if I am using 0 to 11 servers, okay, so I am paying somewhere around like unit price of $1608. If I use 12 servers, or 12 to 14 server slab, so my unit price is automatically decreased. Okay, so my system would be generating an invoice based on unit price of 1476 rather than 1608. Okay, so this is one more additional saving which we are getting out on top of that. Okay, so based on the minimum commit level, my monthly payments are somewhere around like $9,500 per month for the time span of 4 years. And for the year one, for your year two, for the year three, like that. So these are again the financial benefits and time to market benefits which you are getting on top of the over provisioning benefits which you have already been getting on this particular thing. So this is the very much comprehensive proposal which you will be getting on the GreenLake quick quoting tool. It's very simple, very easy, very ready to use, and no more wait for the pricing how it's going to happen. Just it's the matter of few clicks and you have the proposal in your hand. For example, like if you have a requirement of storage, if you have a requirement of synergy, if you have a requirement of simplicity HCI solution, everything is available on a service model, and you just need to pay whatever you are going to use. So this is it from my side. And still, if you have any questions, so I am free to answer. So let me know.